Hey guys, I'm DC Rice, a Meta Knight main from MDVA, and I went to Glitch this weekend. Glitch 8.5, Konami code. We had these little competitor passes that you have to check in, and I'm probably going to keep those as like a keepsake, you know. I'm going to start in chronological order, and basically just talk about my experiences and what happened this weekend. I got to the venue at Friday afternoon, and the very first person I actually played games with was Maister. I saw him in the front room, like in the courtroom. He was there playing friendlies with other people, and I asked for friendlies, and he said, "Do you want a money match?" So I said yes, and I also got a picture with him, which was really cool. So we did a best of 5, and it was for $10. And if you don't know, I really love to money match people. I do it all the time. So he 3-0'd me, obviously, and those games were pretty dominating, and I have to say, I've played other top players before and other high-level players, and I think I felt the most helpless against Maister specifically. I could not get any big damage or anything meaningful. His ledge trapping was insane. It was ridiculous, which is saying something because, you know, I play Meta Knight, and Meta Knight is pretty good at getting off the ledge, so I got some valuable insights, I think. And going on to the rest of the day, I played some friendlies with some other people. Saturday, I played in my pool, and I did really poorly in bracket, but the last tournament I went to was the comeback, which was over a month before this, I believe. And in between then and now, I hadn't really played a lot because I was having a lot of like family issues and life stuff, so I had to take a break from Smash. So this was me coming back fresh into this, you know, highly competitive scene. If I beat my round 1, I would have had to play Peanut on stream, which would have been great, especially for the content of this video. Disappointing that it didn't happen, but, you know, he is in my region consistently, so it's not like I'll never get to play him again. But because I'm not really, like, that special of a player, like, I'm still mid-level, there's nothing really interesting to talk about in terms of, like, my experience playing. What is interesting was observing other things happening. Like, I'm sure you probably have already seen the smoke screen incident that happened when Esam and Light were playing. Like, I was in the front row. This is me, actually. I was sitting in the front row, and they had these smoke machines that started turning on. After like a couple seconds, I was like, oh, that's a little neat effect that they have there. You know, the Castlevania, they're trying to have like this, you know, spooky theme. And then the smoke kind of kept going, and it didn't stop, and it was really thick. And because I was like right there, I started breathing it in, and it was kind of irritating my lungs. Esam, while he was playing, kind of turned back after like he lost his stock, and I was like observing. I was like, this is definitely distracting Esam, like more specifically, because it was blowing in him more than it was at Light. And I was like, are they gonna replay the game or what's happening? Because it must have been like a malfunction or some mishap. Like the smoke was thicker than it should have been. But it was funny as fuck. Like I was laughing the entire time. The commentators was laughing. We were like, what is happening right now? People on the other side of the venue were looking, and they were like, he can't even see the screen right now. Like I was so surprised that Esam decided to keep the game, because I genuinely think that he had a really better chance at winning that game if he didn't get distracted. But he ended up winning the set anyway. Like if I was him, I would have been so tight. Like I definitely would have ran that back. And it's crazy because every time I go to one of these events, something always happens. Like I went to Pound in 2019, and I was also in the audience there when somebody threw a fucking crab at Hungrybox. I mean, when you have that many people in one place, something is bound to happen, you know? Which is why it's always fun to, like, be there in person, you know? I'm like, in the crowd rooting for, like, my favorite players. Cola has quickly become my favorite player to watch, by the way. Whenever I see him play, I'm like, Cola looks like he's about to be the best player in the world. Mark my words. Like, I think at the end of this PGR season, he could be 3rd best in the world, behind Tweak and Leo. I didn't mention Roflfox yet. Yeah, I got a picture with Roflfox too, which I saw him in his fursuit, and I was like, okay, you know, there were actually two fursuits there. There was one person wearing a wolf, like a whole body wolf fursuit, and then there was Roflfox, which I've seen him in the venue before, but I approached him and I was like, I feel like I have to take a picture with him, right? I'll probably put it in the thumbnail. But yeah, super fun times. I also want to talk about Parappa. So Parappa was in the audience, right? And he was just being super loud the entire time. Like, he was screaming at the top of his lungs. He actually went up to the commentator desk and kind of like popped off behind EE and Coney and TK, and EE was like, the fuck? But I don't think anybody minded or anybody told him to shut up, because he was actually funny as fuck the whole time. It's something that's like, I personally will welcome it, because, you know, I see those French tournaments and like tournaments abroad, and the audiences are like really enthusiastic, and I'm like, I want more of that. I want people to like really get into it and like, you know, cheer and do chants and stuff. So it was great to see that level of enthusiasm coming out. And, you know, I went up and talked to him a little bit afterwards. He's really a cool dude, so more power to him. I also played money matches with Chag for a while. He's going around the venue asking anybody want to play friendlies, and I immediately raised my hand. You know, me, yes please. So we did 3 money matches, so it was 9 games in total. I didn't take a game. And his Palutena was, the way I would describe it, it's like whenever he was in an advantage, he would always extend his combo or his advantage state farther than I thought it was going to go. I could not be in the air against him at all because, you know, Palutena Nair. It was fun though. I definitely enjoyed the experience of like playing people who were like the best in the world. I want to talk a little bit about Leo versus Esam too. So in winners, Esam took it 3-1 over Leo, right? And when I was in the crowd, I was sitting next to like Chag, Maister, and all their Mexican friends, you know, all the people who flew out from there. They were speaking Spanish, but they were also speaking English, and they were talking about how they were telling Leo if he loses game 1 as Byleth to switch to Joker. And he didn't listen. He tried to stay with Byleth, and then he switched to Joker. He got a game, but it was too little too late, and he wasn't able to bring it back and probably adapt throughout the flow of the match for the remaining games. Throughout his losers run, he was behind in like a lot of those games, you know. I can tell all these players, they seem like they could all interchangeably win against one another. Like, or the games aren't particularly one-sided, is what I'm talking about. Like, you know, Leo's clearly the better player, so he destroys, and I mean, except like, if we're talking like Cosmos, and like, Leo was pretty much on a roll there. I also want to talk about Light versus Maister, which was a very interesting set. Like, at the beginning, Maister was dominating pretty significantly. Light made some adjustments. I was rooting for Light, by the way. Just player, character, I'm more of a fan of Fox. And the adaptation throughout that match was so, like, interesting. I mean, Fox can't really pressure Game & Watch with laser because of Game & Watch's crouch. He can also bucket the laser. So a lot of the time, Maister was just there, not approaching, and Light is used to people having to approach him because of laser. So there was a lot of patience in that match. I was also commenting on how I hadn't really seen anything from Esam post-COVID. Like, I haven't been keeping up with him. So I was like, I wonder what he's been up to, and how he's doing competitively. And here he showcased it. You know, somehow his advantage state is even better than it was before. I see him using a lot more down air than he was previously. He obviously has his ladders, his nair loops, everything, but those down airs were really like strong. We had Tilde, which, if I had to say anything about him, is that his confirms off of side B were really crisp. We also got Yoda Cage, him landing with down air, and every time he would do that, every time he would go off stage with a down air, he would clown cart to the other side of the stage and then up B, which was super nice to see. I bet he banned Yoshi's and Kalos, which is what I do. Having the ability to go into the stage when you can is a really helpful thing. So yeah, I'm super excited to see this season of Ultimate and like how it's gonna unfold. These majors, they basically put you into perspective. Super great experience, fun weekend. I think I've said all I need to say about it. And I hopefully will see you guys in another video relatively soon.